So now we are going to our next sum, which is 12th one. DG Computers Limited is a manufacturer of computer system. The company is marketing its product in domestic as well as global markets. It has a total sales of 1 crore. Its variable and fixed cost amounts to 60 lakhs and 10 lakhs respectively. It has borrowed 60 lakhs at 10% per annum and has an equity capital of 75 lakhs. What is the company's return on investment? Does it have a favorable financial leverage? If the firm belongs to an industry whose asset turnover is 1, does it have a high or a low asset average? What are the operating, financial and combined leverages of the firm? And if the sales drop to 50 lakhs, what will be the new EBIT? So again, a comprehensive sum. So let's solve this sum. So now we are moving to the 12th sum. Now they have given us the total sales to be 1 crore, which I will be taking equal to 100 lakhs. Because variable cost, fixed cost, everything they have given in lakhs. So we will convert the 1 crore into 100 lakhs. So sales minus variable cost will give me contribution, minus fixed cost will give me earning before interest and tax, minus interest will give me earning before tax, and I have tax. They have not given me the tax rate or not? No, they have not given me the tax rate. So this much information I know. The total sales is 1 crore, which I will take it as 100 lakhs. So here we will write in lakhs. Then the variable cost is 60 lakhs. So variable cost I will be writing as 60 lakhs. So contribution is 40 lakhs. And the fixed cost, they are telling it to be 10 lakhs. So the fixed cost is 10 lakhs. So EBIT we have 30 lakhs. Then we have borrowed 60 lakhs, and on that 60 lakhs we have to pay 10% as our interest. So 60 lakhs 10% will be 6 lakhs. So I have to pay an interest of 6 lakhs. So finally I have EBT to be 24 lakhs. So we are able to prepare the statement, that is the income statement. Now the first question is that what is the return on investment? Now if you want to find the return on investment, we have a formula for it, which is EBIT divided by the capital employed in the business, which is your investment, and this you have to multiply by 100. Now EBIT I know it is 30 lakhs. Now I need to find capital employed. So capital employed we will be able to find through the liability approach, and you have a borrowed capital of 60 lakhs and you have an equity capital of 75 lakhs. So basically your capital employed is nothing but the sum of equity and debt. So you have an equity capital of 75 lakhs and debt of 60 lakhs. 75 lakhs and the debt of 60 lakhs. So you have 135 lakhs as your capital employed. Now you have your capital employed. So EBIT is 30 lakhs. We have a capital employed of 135 lakhs, and this we will multiply by 100. 30 divided by 135%. So 22.22% is your return on capital, is your return on your investment. Now this part we are able to answer it, the return on investment. Now second part is, does it have a favorable financial leverage? Now in financial leverage we have to take into account how much interest we are paying. So we are going to answer the second part. So in financial leverage, how much is the interest rate we are paying it? We are paying interest rate of 10% per annum, which they have mentioned over here. 10% is the interest rate, right? And we are having an return of investment which I have taken to be EBIT, which is before the interest and tax deduction. So 22.22%. 22.22% is your return on investment before your interest deduction. It means that since you have a higher amount of EBIT, you will be able to pay this 10% of interest, right? So if you have a higher amount of EBIT, that is your return on investment is higher than the interest you are paying it, then you have a favorable financial leverage. So here you can say your financial leverage is favorable. Financial leverage is favorable, and you can write, since the return on investment is greater than the interest rate, this will be your answer. So your financial leverage is favorable. It means you are earning more and you will be able to pay your interest cost. So that part we are able to answer it. So yes, you have a favorable financial leverage. Now the third part is, if the firm belongs to an industry whose asset turnover is 1. Now you have to find the asset turnover of this particular company. So we are moving to the third part. We have to find the asset turnover of the company, which is our sales, that is the turnover. Okay, and this we have to divide by the total assets. And we know that the total assets from the liability approach is nothing but the total of your equity and debt, which we have already found out. So which is 135. So we have 135 as our total assets, and we know our sales. Our sales is 100. So I will be able to get the asset turnover, which is 0.740, which I'll approx to 0.74. So this is my asset turnover. Now our industry average is 1. So the industry is having an asset turnover. Industry average is 1, and we have the company average to be 0.74, and we are talking in terms of asset turnover. You can put the heading here. It means that our asset turnover is lower than the company, our asset turnover is lower than the industry. So the company has a lower asset turnover average ratio compared to industry average, So we are able to answer them. So our performance is not at par with the industry. So we have a low asset leverage. Then what are the operating, financial and combined leverage of the firm? So I will be able to answer here only, since we have made the format. So for operating leverage, we have the formula contribution divided by EBIT. contribution divided by EBIT. So contribution is 40, EBIT is 30. So 40 by 30 is 1.33. This is your operating leverage. Now you want to find financial leverage, so it will be EBIT divided by EBT. So EBIT is 30, EBT is 24, 30 divided by 24. So 1.25 is my financial leverage. Combined leverage you can do by two formulas. Operating leverage into financial leverage you can multiply. So 1.33 you can multiply with 1.25. 1.33 into 1.25. So 1.6625, which I can approx to 1.66. This is my combined leverage. Or you can use the formula of combined leverage, which is contribution divided by EBT. So you have a contribution of 40 and you have an EBT of 24. So 40 by 24 is going to give you 1.666, which you can approx to 1.67. So both are same. There will be some difference for rounding off, that you don't need to worry. So we have found this three averages. Now the fifth part is, if the sales drop to 50 lakhs, what will be the new EBIT? Now if the sales drop to 50 lakhs, what will be the new EBIT? So your sales are say 50 lakhs. So minus variable cost will give you contribution, minus fixed cost will give you EBIT. Right. Now we have to find the variable cost ratio. So here I am going to find variable cost ratio. So that is variable cost divided by sales multiplied by 100. So my variable cost is 60. My sales are 100, and if I multiply by 100, so I'm going to get 60% of sales. This is my variable cost ratio. It means if my sales are 100, my variable cost will be 60. So this I will be using here. If my sales are 100, my variable cost will be 60, so my contribution will be 40. So now we can find the contribution. 50 into 40 divided by 100. So this will be 20, and this you can take it as 30. The fixed cost is going to remain the same. So you have a fixed cost of 10. So that will be same 10. So your revised EBIT will be 10. So your revised EBIT will be 10. There is another way to solve this particular problem, but we are going to discuss in the later sums. I don't want you all to get confused. So now we have got the EBIT. What will be the new EBIT? So you can answer that your new EBIT is going to be 10. So we will meet in the next lecture. Thank you.